Leave her alone. Ow, liver. It was a joke.
The biggest theory amongst the Scream fandom is that STU MACHER, one of the original ghost faces from the first movie, is still alive out there somewhere, plotting his revenge against Sidney Prescott. The theory has gained so much traction over time that the recent movies have even recognized and seemingly disproved it. The upcoming 7th installment, however, has Matthew Lillard attached to the cast, meaning that it's once again possible that the character could come back alive. Is STU MACHER still out there somewhere, or how will this Scream actor be utilized in the next installment? Well, that and a bunch of other Scream 7 updates are the topic of today's video, so let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Before we get into this, I'd like to ask you guys to like this video, subscribe to the page, yada yada yada, but also something really exciting is that our horror gaming channel GullGotha is nearly at 1,000 subscribers. Please make sure to go check that out because we're going live on Tuesday to play Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, and I'll even be doing an Alien Isolation stream with a follow-up video sometime soon as well. Our goal this month is to get monetized over there, and we are on the cusp of it, so if you guys can go help us out, that would mean a great deal. Sorry about the public service announcement. Appreciate you guys a ton for the support. Now let's get into the video. Recently, we've had a ton of small little Scream franchise updates, including an update on the 8th installment. It's been reported by Production Weekly that Scream 8 will film in March of 2026, only a few days after the release of the next film during the theatrical run of Scream 7, also in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, Scream 7 shot in the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia earlier this year, making me think that Scream 8 could be some sort of part 2 opposed to like a whole nother story. It could maybe even take place in the same town as the previous film where Sidney and her family reside, Pine Grove, Indiana, and could even pick up right where we left off. That's something the franchise has never really done before, and the rumor right now is that 7 will feature a cliffhanger that moves into a part 8. These are some very fresh ideas for the franchise. This could be proof of it too. And if you're worried that Scream 7 isn't gonna do well, that would leave us on a cliffhanger that never gets resolved, I promise you that Scream 7, no matter what the quality of the film is, people are going to show up. It is going to make money. There is far too much star power in this upcoming movie for there not to be butts in seats at the theater during its opening weekend. I hope that this one is also good too and does something fresh with the series, but that's yet to be determined. I will say though, a well-executed cliffhanger, something this franchise has never done before, could be that for me. There's also a brand new interview with Scream 7 actress Anna Camp, who is currently my #1 suspect as to who Ghostface is this time around. When asked if she rewatched all of the Scream movies before entering production, she said she definitely did. Sounds like this Ghostface is doing her homework. Camp doubles down on Sidney being the focal point of this story by saying this character is so close to home for Nev. Obviously, she's grown up playing this role that she knows when the script is not right, or if something doesn't feel like what Sidney would say. Maybe it's just me, but does it feel like every single Scream interview feels like these people are reading off of a script? It kind of just feels like they're telling fans what they want to hear about this one, but my question is, will they actually deliver in that department? Scream 7 seemingly has the requel format of the previous two, where our story is split between legacy characters and new characters alike. This resulted in one of the biggest complaints for the previous two films, that the legacy characters just didn't have enough screen time. So it begs the question, who will really be the focus of Scream 7? Sidney Prescott or Sidney's daughter? See, this wouldn't even be a concern for me if we didn't have Sidney's daughter being played by an upcoming actress, as well as somebody who's getting the most attention outside of the legacy characters. So far, Isabel May's new character is the only new character that has any bit of coverage whatsoever. Everything about the other characters that you guys are talking about is just rumors. Isabel May playing Sidney's daughter is 100% confirmed, making me think she has a lead role position here. I would have no complaints about a Scream movie that followed Sidney's daughter. That would be cool and a fun new character to explore, but they're marketing this as a Sidney story. I hope they've committed to that. Balancing the narrative between way too many main characters is what made the previous two films kind of sloppy in my opinion. I really hope they've gotten away from that format moving into 7. More than anything, I just want a simple murder mystery story again, and with this movie having like 100 actors in it, I don't know if that's gonna be what we get. I'm exaggerating a bit, but the cast for this movie is outrageously large. And speaking of which, we might just have another unannounced name returning to the franchise in this series. Coming from trusted third-party source Jude here, he confirms that there's another legacy character returning from the original original 4 films, with the only hint being that it's not Skeet Ulrich. And he's probably in this one too. I will say it's interesting that Jude said the original 4 films. Usually when we're talking about the Scream franchise, it's broken into 2 different parts. The original trilogy, which kind of has its own feel, versus the latter 3, which are definitely their own thing. That makes me think it could be somebody from that 4th installment. It could be Kirby Reed, who of course was confirmed alive after her supposed death in Scream 4, moving into Scream 5. She then returned as an FBI agent in Part 6 to help out the Carpenter sisters. She made it very clear in that film that she takes Ghostface cases very seriously. I imagine she'll want to be there for the next one. Now, if it is Kirby Reed that Jude is alluding to here, I don't think her role is going to be that significant. Last year, we got reports from Production Weekly that a Kirby spin-off was in the works, so maybe this could be set up for that. Could you see some sort of brief cameo appearance from her that sets that up for the future? Jude also alludes to Angelina Tyler potentially showing up somehow in Scream 7, a character that died in Scream 3, but has been theorized to potentially be the other Ghostface that just never got revealed in the film. With Scott Foley coming back as Roman Bridger, maybe they're bringing that fan theory to life. The only thing we can be sure of right now is that I'm sure Scream 7 has some more secrets that they haven't just spoiled outright in the marketing so far. At least I hope. Some of the big surprises from this film have seemingly already been confirmed, with Matthew Lillard, David Arquette, and Scott Foley all returning to the franchise, which is a major shock. Speaking of which, finally getting into the Stu talk here, Jude also confirms that the debate on Stu Macher's survival rages on here in 7. A recent post from him read, "Even in Scream 7, the debate over Stu's survival is alive and kicking. Sydney is willing to believe he made it through, while Gail isn't buying it one bit. It's a brilliant mirror to the fandom's endless debates, making us question what's real and what's just wishful thinking." So a few things to break down here. Jude essentially says that the point of this scene is to be a mirror to the fandom's endless debate, reflecting a lot of the Stu debates that we have on pages just like this. I just don't see the laconic, more mature version of Sidney Prescott entertaining such a conversation. I mean, she literally believes she executed him back in '96. Why would she think he was alive? It made sense when Mindy and Kirby kind of went back and forth about it in Scream 6. This feels like a repeat of the same scene, but done with characters where it doesn't fit. Mindy Meeks Martin and Kirby Reed literally are characters that represent the Scream fandom, where Sydney and Gail are like the lead characters. They don't represent that. Sydney's not even a fan of the horror genre that she lives in, and she's made that quite clear a couple of times throughout the franchise's history. The big question here, though, is does this debate confirm whether Stu is dead or alive? No. This to me sounds like a lesser version of the scene from Scream 6 where the same exact thing happens. 2 characters go back and forth about in-universe Stu Macher theories. Despite it being a flimsy theory in-universe, people still believe that Stu can come back, and I think that's great. I mean, they literally kill one of their own ghost faces with a CRT television. Sorry, the same CRT television that took out Stu Macher in '96 in that film, and we still have Stu theories rolling in. I believe the only way the Stu theories are going to stop is if at some point we see Stu Macher's dead body rotting in the ground. But why would this franchise ever do that? That kind of just sucks the fun out of creating a fan theory if the franchise itself is just gonna kick you in the face for believing that at some point. This fan theory is fun and has snowballed so much that it drives constant engagement with the series, making some fans see the next movie no matter what for a chance to see their favorite Ghostface on screen again. The theory is a fun thing to discuss, but I just don't take it very seriously because I can't see it becoming an effective twist in a Scream movie. Revealing a character who was already revealed as one of the ghost faces in another film but miraculously survived a fatal injury. That just sounds like the plot of a late season soap opera to me, not a meta horror slasher film. My guess is that Matthew Lillard is returning as Stu in flashback sequences to something that happened during his run as Ghostface. That is probably going to affect the events that happen in this film 30 years later. I mean, it's an anniversary, you gotta think we're gonna go back to the original in some unique way, fingers crossed. My thing about this is I feel like it still satisfies the urge of seeing your favorite Ghostface on screen again. They're just not involved with the story as much as maybe some would hope. We're probably gonna see Matthew Lillard doing his goofy shtick as a young Stu on screen again. Isn't that kind of what we want as Scream fans from this? I mean, who doesn't love Matthew Lillard? Hey everybody, if you like horror movie updates like this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new video. Also, check out our merch store to show off your love of horror movies and lack of friends. The link is in the description below. So what do you guys think about Stu Macher? Is he alive or dead? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.